How does the cheapest men's fragrance on Amazon.com compare to the most expensive? Stay tuned.
Fragrance on me, God, I'm asking what it mean. Confidence loud, but the scent stay refined. Always in the zone, got a fragrant state of mind.
Whew. Okay, so today is gonna be a super fun video. We are comparing the cheapest men's fragrance on Amazon.com to the most expensive. Now, there are a few rules that I had to stick by when choosing what fragrances to compare, because obviously Amazon is a massive website and there are a lot of different categories and fragrances that you could consider fragrances, but don't really work for this type of video. So I'm gonna list off the rules that I'm gonna stick by when comparing the cheapest men's fragrance on Amazon and the most expensive. So first of all, any mini size or ultra large size, I'm disqualifying, okay? Because in my opinion, it needs to be a standard bottle size. I don't want mini fragrances, I don't want decants, and I certainly don't want big 10-ounce bottles or refillable jugs or anything like that, because that could get crazy in price. So we're going with pretty much same size to same size, or full size to full size, if that makes sense. The other thing I'm disqualifying are clones. And the reason for that is there are a lot of sort of knockoff clones that, yes, they can be sold for like $5, $7, whatever. Doesn't make sense to even add that to this comparison, because I really wanted to stick with name brands. You know what I mean? Something that's an original scent that is made by either a designer or niche house. So for the last rule, it was really important that I use sold by and shipped by Amazon, because there are a lot of third-party sellers, and I always tell people steer clear from third-party sellers on websites like Amazon and Walmart and things like that, because you can get into a lot of hairy situations with third-party sellers that are potentially selling fakes or things that aren't really represented to be what they're claimed to be on the website. So that's a big no for me. It has to be sold by and shipped by Amazon. And I would always urge you, when purchasing fragrance on Amazon, only purchase when it's sold by and shipped by Amazon, okay? So those are the rules, but before we get started, I just wanna have a quick word from our sponsor, and then we're gonna get into the most affordable fragrance on Amazon.com. What I'd like to discuss for a moment is the Goodhue Boat Company Boat Club. Now, there are 4 words that stand out to me when I think of the Goodhue Boat Club, and that is carefree, simplicity, flexibility, and freedom. This boat share program allows you unlimited access to all 5 Goodhue locations on Lake Winnipesaukee. Whether you want to cruise around the lake with your family or try out water sports, you can enjoy boating on the greatest lakes in New Hampshire, Maine, and Virginia. On top of that, the boat club gives you access to over 120 carefree boat club locations all over the world, with access to hundreds of boats. You get unlimited use, great availability, boats are fueled, cleaned, and ready to go anytime. You have access to a full dock staff at your disposal. You can boat literally year-round, anytime, anywhere in the US. We're talking luxury and specialty boats. You can book online or over the phone, even if it's last minute. And on top of that, all of these features are included. Like I said, there's over 100 locations in the US, Canada, the Caribbean, Panama, and the Philippines. So if you want to learn more about this great program, definitely check out goodhueboat.com/AFSOM today. Okay, so the most affordable fragrance that I could find on Amazon.com that is technically a designer fragrance, even though most people know this as a shoe company, but they do make clothes and other items in regards to fashion, and that is Fila. And this is Fila's Eau de Toilette original fragrance. And this is a $19.92 bottle. And it's also 100 mils. So yeah, this is the cheapest fragrance on Amazon.com. So the big question we have to ask ourselves is, how does it smell? Well, let's look at the presentation first. So it looks like a pretty basic, generic, kind of cheap bottle of cologne. But, and this is incredibly cheap. This is like literally just a cheap plastic, almost like something you would get on like a spray cleaner bottle or something. The atomizer is not even that great. But here's the deal. For a $19 fragrance, this stuff is not that bad. It's really not. Let's look at the atomizer here. Like I said, not great. Not terrible though. I actually really like this fragrance. It's very fresh, it's invigorating, it's soapy, it's clean. It feels like something you'd wear out and about on a summer's day, being active. It's definitely more on the youthful side, but I really feel like any age could pull this one off. This one does project pretty well for about an hour or so, and then it kind of tones back into more of a skin scent. But I will say, performance for a $19 fragrance is not terrible. It's also not great. You're gonna get about 3 to 4 hours tops out of this. Mostly what you're getting is citrus, bergamot, and woods, essentially, with a touch of sweetness. I guess if you were to compare this to a high-end designer fragrance, this is along the lines of something you would see from like an Allure Homme Sport from Chanel, or something you would get from Dior, maybe Dior Homme Sport, something along those lines. Definitely a sport flanker, if you could imagine. That's really what you get with this. You get sweet citrus woods, but it's just really nice. And I really like this fragrance, and for 19 bucks, I love that I can go super heavy with it, not feel guilty about wearing it. And it does smell very nice. This is sort of a dumb reach summer fragrance. So if I'm gonna rate this one, being the cheapest fragrance on Amazon.com, honestly, I'm gonna give this a good 7.8. I think it's very good for what it is. It's not gonna break any ground. It's not gonna, tilt the wheel in any sort of fashion. But if you want something that's a great throw in your gym bag, have it on you at all times, just something to spray on when you're not feeling so fresh, this is definitely a great buy, and it's definitely worth 19 bucks all day. Okay, now when we get into the most expensive fragrance on Amazon.com, we are looking at the House of Bond number 9. Now, a majority of their fragrances are all pretty much priced at the same price point on Amazon because they are selling them at retail. And the one that I have to show you today is Chez Bond by Bond number 9. This fragrance on Amazon is listed at $460. Which is pretty much what retail is most places that you're gonna buy Bond number 9. I will say, if you are planning on purchasing a Bond number 9 fragrance, don't buy it on Amazon, don't buy it on retail, it's crazy. You can get this bottle easily on a discounter for around 180, 190 bucks all day, and it's gonna be worth it. Don't go crazy spending $500 on a fragrance, okay? Do your due diligence, find out where you can get it legitimately at a deeper discount. I promise you there are places you can get it, especially houses like Bond number 9. You never have to pay $500 for a bottle. But that being said, let's smell this and see how it compares. Now, the atomizer on this is very nice. I would say the atomizers are pretty similar in quality. So right off the bat, there is a definite, obviously, major quality difference when it comes to the Bond number 9. This is much more vibrant, much more higher quality ingredients being used, much more richer, deeper, way more present. On this side, this is already sort of fading. On this side, it's definitely way more vibrant, way more quality. You can pick out the notes, you can pick out all of the different, profiles and everything. But honestly, when you're looking at a retail $460 fragrance compared to a $20 fragrance, the Fila is not a bad choice if that's your budget, you know what I mean? If you are into the ultra niche type fragrances and you have a few $100s laying around, listen, Bond number 9 is a great way to go. But honestly, at $20 price point, you cannot go wrong with the Fila. The Bond number 9 is gonna get a 7.9 out of 10. It's very good. It's not anything groundbreaking once again, but it is much higher quality. The reason I'm not rating it even higher is because of the price point. When you're paying that much, I think sort of you expect this major leap. Now you are getting a definite leap from this guy, but that being said, is it worth hundreds of dollars difference? I don't know, that's really up to you. I hate to say it, but the Fila, it can be a good choice for you. But also Bond number 9 is phenomenal. I can't say anything bad about that one either. I wasn't really trying to compare them apples to oranges because obviously you're getting totally different things. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is a $20 fragrance can be a very good fragrance. Don't ever feel like if you don't have $500 to spend on a fragrance that you're not going to be able to smell good, that you're gonna feel like you're less than or not as good as other people, because that's simply not the case. Because at the end of the day, whether you're wearing Fila or you're wearing Bond number 9, you are gonna smell great no matter what. Whether your budget is $19 or $460, you're gonna smell good either way. I know a lot of $19 fragrance lovers out there that command a room way better than someone wearing a $500 fragrance with a stale personality. Don't ever let anyone disrupt your vibe. Stay fragrant, okay? I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, have a fragrant state of mind.